Out of those stories that you've looked at, though, because that's one that um, seems very interesting, that a factory beneath the seas, but like there are different types of UFOs that we have been or people have been looking at for
Yep.
many, many years. Which ones do you think, for example, the orbs, what do you think those are?
Mm, hard to say. Hard to say. It could be a number of things. What we perceive as an orb could be something glowing, like a physical craft, or it could be some type of, we've heard stories of plasma sort of entities, or
Yeah.
it could also be a satellite or a star. There's all these all look like orbs.
Yeah.
Orb is a really generalized term for what it is we're seeing. And I think it's a good term because that's what it looks like. Um, I'm way more interested in flying saucer because that's a little bit more, or tic tac shape, or cylinder.
Yeah.
Because now we're talking about
Black triangles too.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but as far as orbs go, your guess is as good as mine. There's always an uptick in sightings on New Year's and July 4th when people are lighting up Chinese lanterns. It's
Yeah.
just a fact. There's an
Yeah.
uptick in sightings during December when Venus comes out, and
Yeah.
during the day, and people say so. You can't argue against that, but yeah,
Yeah.
orbs are a little too
And all
blurry.
the low Earth orbit stuff that there is, because there's a lot out there,
Yep.
people now have their own satellites, like, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But there are still like stories of orbs or lights. If you look at Colaras, it was these. Uh,
Yeah. In
even
the
even some of them were
70s.
like ping pong ball sized and
Yeah.
tennis ball sized. They would zap you with lasers. If you look at late 40s and early 50s at places like Sandia or Kirkland Air Force Base or Los Alamos, it was these green, glowing streaks in the sky, that almost looked like meteors, but that behaved erratically. And so there's all different types of orbs. You hear people about, oh, they came in my house and it was floating around, and it's
Have
it's
you ever have you ever looked at the whole connotation of the occult being ingrained in the UFO topic? Have you ever spent time looking into that?
a little bit, yeah. And you can't help but wonder. You look back at Jack Parsons, the one of the basically like one of the fathers of NASA, essentially the founder of JPL, um, who didn't have a degree in anything,
Yeah.
who's but he figured out propulsion. He figured out, how to fly rockets essentially. And without him, we wouldn't be flying them. And this guy was literally trying to summon demons with, Aleister Crowley and hanging around L. Ron Hubbard and stuff. Like very, very strange. There's always been a tie-in to the occult. I suppose my hypothesis still remains, um, the trickery aspect of it is important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't think that quantum physics is a symptom of magic with a K. I think it's the other way around. I think it is scientifically explainable.
We just don't understand it yet, right?
Well, I think some people do. And I think here's what I mean is that if I trick you into believing and knowing that these spells work to summon UFOs, maybe that's the ingredient that I need, is that your confidence that it's real,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
But I can only get that type of confidence out of you if I sincerely, without a shadow of a doubt, trick you into really believing it. Like you would take a bullet for that theory, right?
Yeah.
And so now you have, these places like Bohemian Grove, and you have all these, what's coming out with the Epstein files. You
Yeah.
hear about these world leaders uh, behaving really in a dark manner with
Yeah.
these like ritualistic, things. And I think to myself, oh, I think people at the top get it. They know that they have to trick these people for it to work. And they're
Yeah.
using this invocation, or they're using these uh, magical practices, this literal sleight of hand, in order to trick you into thinking it's real. And then it does work. It does
Yeah.
summon an entity, or it does create some egregore in the sky or whatever that is. Or it makes you win the lottery or whatever. You know, there's the old saying, millionaires believe in astronomy and billionaires believe in astrology. Um,
And cosmology as well.
yeah, that's right. You know,
Yeah.
so these these old, you know, rich bankers,
Yeah.
they probably understand something. And I, like I said, I don't think that the magic with a K is real in the sense that like there's something paranormal, supernatural happening. I think they're tapping into fundamental laws of like properties of quantum physics
Yeah.
that have to do with the observer. And if you are convinced, it creates this, um, you're essentially creating reality. And if you look at the
Yep.
word abracadabra, it means I create what I speak. You know, use say the magic word. You know, like all this
Yeah.
stuff. Like intention really matters, and I think it actually shapes reality. It collapses wave functions. I believe. I think.
Imagine everybody was aware of that. And that's part of the trickery and the control, that they use. They keep us
Wouldn't that
distracted.
be a big secret?
Oh
Wouldn't
yeah.
that be something worth distracting you over with aliens?